is also brightly beaming. And Cornelius does this thing where he kind of brings in, like, oh, this is amazing. His is this
the first time he's ever been attracted to his wife? Because you know what, I love my wife, and I don't ever have the look of. Okay,
we've gone from when Taylor was there, and he's having the roll my eyes argument about the map of the Forbidden Zone to, oh my goodness, she's wearing human clothes. Right. I love her.
So she eventually opens this cloak,
which makes the next line very interesting. The next Cornelius response.
So she opens her cloak and she very femininely shrieks a little smile as she does that, and he looks over and clasps his hands to her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're both married. Have you ever looked at your spouse and clasped your hands like this? I don't even think that was something the 70s people did.
But he's trying to work through a monkey suit in a limo with but he's having to do everything body movement wise. Everything has to be physical.
It made me think.
But you're right. I mean, it's a very odd.
It's an odd gesture.
It's an odd moment. It's something you would see like on stage, not actually in real life.
It makes me think of when actors come out and, ladies and gentlemen, they need no introduction. Here is Richard Neal, and they come out and they put their hands in the prayer motion, and they're like, dude, I'm praying at everybody. Thank you. Right. Yeah, steepling your hands. That's the same thing. It's, nobody does that. No. Nobody in real life. If I were to come over to your house, I would
nut punch you.
Yeah.
We've still staged the two bodyguards on either side of the scene, with their hands on top of the limo. Just some weird, like, bottom pant shots. They're just awkward.
If you're going to talk weird, let's talk about the next shot when they're heading into the hotel. And I'm assuming the two people that are standing by the archway are security guards, but they look like the oldest, weakest security guards you could hire.
Well, let's talk, Todd. So the next scene, we just had the reveal of Zero's outfit. Yeah. So now we're going back into the hotel room. Clearly, it's a party. Tell me about how chaotic this shot is.
What kind of security? Those two guys.
It's a handheld shot.
It's a handheld shot.
And here's the problem with it. So the further you zoom out on a lens, the less you're going to see the walking element of it.
The bouncing, the moving of the lens, yeah.
That is... You're pushed in at least halfway on that. And those are called rubber lenses when you can zoom either way. And they'll use those and things like this so that they can actually very quickly, the director says, I want this shot. Fine. You don't have to look for the lens you want. It's just, I can go and I can run and gun. But by doing it, it has a almost sickening element to it.
We're literally watching right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot as this person moves around.
Wobbling into the party,
I love the idea of a shaky cam that when it's used intentionally with some purpose, and I get we're going into a party. But man, even today they would put it on something that would stabilize it so that you can move a little better. But he's not stabilized at all.
You're also going to do things. So eventually we have the shot continues to work, and you see the guy in the red jacket serving drinks. What you might start with...
you also see the cameraman shooting stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and so you might actually start your shot following that tray.
And then
so
split
there's
off
an element that takes us into the shot.
Yeah, the tray should have been brought in. That would have been much better.
At that point, you feel... And you can even cheat that. There are little apparatuses where you can attach it to the camera so you can do it, and they can take it off, and then they go around.
We started with a guy walking towards the camera almost out of the suite, and then walking to the side of the guy with the camera.
Because they are having a damn party there.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't get over the fact that I had to watch the fucking guy shuffle in with the camera.
Well,
shuffle.
It's an interesting shot if you do it right. It's a horrible shot when you do it wrong. The thing also that's horrible is, to your point about the security guards, the one to the right could not look
more asleep
disinterested. It was like, holy shit, dude, your job is to be security or at least over this, to look like you're fucking pissed to be there.
That's just it, as extras.
Yeah.
Did they intentionally tell them to be bored?
Security guards
the security guards that are sitting outside the door. We want you to be unimpressed and bored by what's happening. Because if I were just in that moment as an actor, as an extra, I would have been like, upright, ready to go, look like I'm doing something.
Your job as the actor being the security guard, you're supposed to be protecting, I'm assuming, these two chimps that are human-sized that can talk from strangers. Even though everybody's getting plastered in there, the assault bike is being worked on by that woman, everything. I mean...
Well,
the shot, real quick, because I just noticed this too. For the first 4 seconds, did you notice you can see the shadow of the cameraman on the wall?
I did not. No.
You can see a shadow. So what they should have done, to your point of how do they make it work, then we have a waiter coming towards the camera. What you should have done is, even if he's walking towards it, you sort of go against the shot, and they should have cut there. It's a horribly cut in shot. It just is terrible.
So we get into the hotel room. We have a woman walk literally in front of the camera while another camera pretends to be making a shot of her.
There's somebody filming, yeah.
Right? And it looks like it. It doesn't feel like it's choreographed, like it's, or slightly choreographed. And then we get a shot of the actual drinks as another, bellman or waiter walks by with drinks. And then we kind of, the guy with the handheld then kind of sweeps up just a little bit to get a shot of the woman on the exercise bikes with people around her having a party, and she's on the exercise bikes and people talking to her. And it's like, I get they're trying to establish that this is a drunken, crazy, wild party. That's what I assume they're trying to drive with
this. They are, and because now Richard's challenged me to this. I'm trying to find where you cut in on this scene. For mine on Amazon at 38:47. There is somebody holding another camera, and it has a sunlight on it. Mm-hmm. That sunlight eventually comes straight positive into it.
The whole camera flash, and you change them.
And right when he hits, in the motion of him coming and hitting it, a woman walks across frame. And if you do those pop, then that becomes an edit point, and that would have worked. That would have also said, and it would have said, "Here's chaos of the moment." We didn't need that walk moment. That walk moment's what ruins it, because you're right. You do see the right, left, right, and it takes the entire chaos.
How
it takes the chaos out of the scene, because it becomes do.
But that would not have been any cameraman that I know, unless they were just completely stupid,
right?
To walk with the camera like that and not steady the camera in any way whatsoever. Like it's just bad camera work.
That's why you didn't see a lot of that back then.
From even the cameraman, like. He would have been aware of the fact that he's shifting back and forth as he walks through. At least most of the ones that I know of are super aware of that.
But I think a lot of times when they do those, no, it's fine. But let's be fair. That's the last 15 seconds of this whole minute. I think that when you do those shots, you're always going to start with about 5 to 10 seconds of walk to get into the moment.
You
don't expect the editor to take that 5 to 10. Yeah. Don't do that. It's too much. It's too long.
So We move in. We'll go past this little bad moment going into the party that's supposed to be chaotic. We have a woman on an exercise bike with people standing around her laughing. I don't know why she's enamored by an exercise bike, unless we're supposed to believe that they're all just shit-faced at this point.
I mean,
you would hope somebody's drinking to give that.
I can only imagine.
I assume that's what they're trying to say.
I have been to happy hours at a CrossFit gym. At no point did anybody start drinking enough that they said, "Hey, watch me work out.
Watch me sit on this exercise bike and move around." Like the exercise. I mean, was it a new invention in 1971?
I don't know.
Did we not have exercise bikes before?
It does look very remedial compared to what we have today, so it may have been something new.
I mean, we'll get into a little bit more later on, because it does get a little bit crazy.
Does it make it creepy that the old men are the ones, and they're all looking at? They are feigned to be looking at her feet as she pedals on the bike, but she's in a short dress, and they're looking at her ass, and they're being gross.
Now, I want you to know that this entire opening scene into the thing was not in the script.
Well, hey, I'll let you know. The first such exercise bike was invented and patented in 1796.
Well, so this is not the unusual thing.
So
this is, let me just tell you how it's supposed to cut. So it talks about the fact that she comes out, models a dress for Cornelius, who goes into stitches, is what he describes. It's supposed to cut back to the Beverly Wilshire suite to the sound of chatter and clinking glasses. Okay. That's how they do the cut.
So the whole point of this introductory shot is to show there's a party, there's some chaos going on, they're now celebrities, they've got their new clothes, and what do we want in a scene? That's always what you're supposed to ask yourself. We want to get to Cornelius's and Zira's moment. Those establishing shots should not be what they are. And again, to my point about when you could cut in on that and you just show the chaos of the people there, it would be a much more effective way to get to Cornelius. And then what you do with Cornelius, you've done these little swish. Instead of just doing a flat shot, swish, what's called swish pane, you pop over to him, so you're part of the movement too, and they could cut into it, and it would work. It would work so well. But they instead, what do they do when they go to Cornelius? Flat shot, just cut to it.
So how far in do we get with the Cornelius?
We get the question, not the answer. So we get a very awkward question of why would they be asking an ape what he thinks of human women?
Yeah.
Because they like bestiality. That's what
and how do you find our women, Mr. Cornelius?
I mean, because let's also think about this. It's not as if Cornelius has never seen human women before.
Right.
He has in the future. He's seen remnants from him digging through the caves, and he's also seen the human women that are actually alive in the future. So human women are not a new concept to him.
And wouldn't that make the answer that he eventually gives more interesting if he starts analytically starting to say it, and then maybe Lewis stops him and says you can't say that?
You can say,
we get the question, so we can...
I know, I'm only talking about what may come.
Yeah, I mean, because we'll get the answer tomorrow, but it'd be interesting if he said, well, from what I see, in where I come from, human women are very... primitive, they don't speak, they wear very low clothes, but I see the human women here as very intelligent, almost as smart as Zira, something like that.
That would,
yeah, there you go, and that's funny too.
Should have been comparison to his wife.
He should have been saying they are almost as smart as the smartest woman that I know.
That would have been interesting. Yeah, a lot more funny.
Absolutely. I like that choice, and we'll find out tomorrow what he actually says. Okay, that's our tease. That's a plane flying overhead. I'm Todd.
This is a beer.
That's Sean. That's Richard. That's Richard's laugh.
Oh.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.